Yo, Garrett and people on the internet, on Twitter. This is the Playmaker football betting show. Playmaker.
I like it. It looks
Yeah.
good. It looks good,
Thanks, man.
That looks good.
Thanks, man. I'm just yeah. I'm a new man now.
You are. Congrats,
Yep.
bro. Congrats. Papa Bear now.
Everybody, I had a baby. I'm a father now. So, I'm dealing with that. Not dealing with it, but enjoying it. And I was telling Garrett before the show started, I had to go to urgent care. I have sciatica problems, and remember I rode that bull that threw out my back, and then I slept on the couch at the hospital, and now my back is all jacked up. Had to go to urgent care, get a steroid, muscle relaxers, on top of not sleeping, and then my German Shepherd barking every time my baby makes a noise. So my patience is this thin.
Well, welcome to parenthood, bro. You'll love it. You'll tend to love it. You know what I mean? It gets better over time. Hopefully your back pain gets better too.
That's
rub that icy hot on you.
That's the worst thing, dude. I could do with the no sleep. I'm fucking team no sleep all the time. I don't care about that. It's just being in pain and being miserable. It makes everything so much worse.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay. But we're not here for that. We're here for winners, right?
Winners.
What a cool wild card round, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, my fucking Vikings got shit to bed, which I kind of expected them to, because it's the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. But we can't put the blame on Kirk Cousins like everybody else is doing. We got to put the blame on the shitty fucking defense and defensive coordinator.
Sure.
Giving up over 30 fucking points in that game.
And give me some credit to the Giants for putting up points, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they look fantastic. They scored on almost every single drive. So you have to give credit to them. And you also have to give credit to Kirk Cousins, what he did. Everybody wants to, throw shit at him because, yes, he threw one of arguably the worst passes of the entire game when he needed it the most. Yes, and I understand that completely. But, I mean, he's the one that at least put you in the position to even be there. You know what I mean? And everybody's trashing him because, he's a quarterback. And that's what they do.
That's part of the job, dude. We saw the Jaguars in the first half. Everybody wrote them off. They didn't write back. Came back, put on a show. Bills squeak out a win against a third-string quarterback. Bengals celebrated a game they could have lost on a Hail Mary. Lot of drama there, dude. My baby was being delivered just as that game was ending, dude. There was like a Hail Mary and my wife's pushing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I can only imagine that moment. You're like,
every time, yeah. But after she would push for 10 seconds, and then they'd stop, and I'd be looking up at the TV. Hey, props to that hospital, dude, for having the TV right there. It was nice.
That's phenomenal, and that's a story you'll always have with you, forever.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. What do we have here for this week, though? We have our divisional rounds. One stat I wanted to point out before we get started. Since 2003, 1 seeds in the divisional rounds have gone 13, 25, and 1 against the spread. That's only 34%. So number 1 seeds, Chiefs and Eagles, covering 31% since 2003. Those number 1 seeds. So be careful for those Chiefs and Eagles covering. Might be something to think about. 34%, pretty low number.
That's pretty abysmal.
It is. It is abysmal. But
terrible.
If you are going to bet this weekend, make sure you do it with our friends over at PointsBet. It's the best book, guys. My favorite book, Garrett's favorite book.
Right.
Go ahead and scan that QR code right there for a chance to win up to $2,000 in free bets. You're going to just use code Playmaker. They give out free bets, lightning bets. What else? Same game parlays. It's very fun, very easy. They have lots of good props there. It's our book of choice. PointsBet. Use it.
Or be square.
Square, dude. Garrett, what do you got for this weekend? Give me your first play here.
It's a little chalky, but I'm gonna lay it. I'm gonna lay the 9 and take the Chiefs. I think they steamroll here. I think they do exactly what the Chargers were supposed to do. I mean, the Chargers were up 27-0 for a reason, right? They were absolutely hammering the Jaguars defense, which is abysmal. I don't think they're going to be able to, corral, Mahomes and company at all whatsoever. And I think Chiefs are going to get stops when they need it. They're going to get the stops that they need. And I'm expecting him to play like a shutout game. This is going to be a shutout game. I don't think they're going to completely shut them out completely, but I just don't think Lawrence has it in him to keep this game within reach. I'm expecting a 2-touchdown or 3-touchdown victory for Chiefs so they can just ride off into, the AFC Championship game against, I don't know, Bengals Bills. That's a good game. I can't really call that right now, but I'm expecting the Chiefs to just steamroll here and get to the next week, and we'll see what happens there. I just think Mahomes gets it done, honestly.
Garrett laying the 9 there. I am not laying the 9. I'm taking the 9 with the Jaguars. I do agree with you, though, wholeheartedly. If that would have happened to the Chiefs, Andy Reid, that's not happening to Andy Reid and the Chiefs. There's no chance anybody's coming back. Mahomes would have buried them if Lawrence made half of the mistakes. If Lawrence threw 2 interceptions, Mahomes and Andy Reid, that offense would bury them. If you need to capitalize, they were talking about point differential or winning percentages in regards to turning the ball over. If you turn the ball over once, twice, your winning percentage goes up exponentially. At 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions, it's almost 100%. So it's pretty miraculous that they actually lost that game. Chiefs rush defense is actually a top 10 unit, so they can make this Jaguars a one-dimensional team, making Trevor Lawrence have to throw more than he'd like. I mean, he threw 47 times last game. Obviously 4 picks in that first half, but when the Jags are spotted 9 points, they are covering 88.2% of the time, 15 out of 17 games. So for those reasons, I do like those odds. I would take the Jaguars +9 here. And for another reason later that I'm going to mention as well, but I do like the Jags +9.
I like it. I mean, it makes sense because, it's the playoffs. It's a lot of points. And it's very scary kind of wanting to lay 9 in a divisional round playoff game. We're talking about elite teams going at one another, but I'm just taking maybe a little shot into the dark. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if you really do like the Chiefs, you could always tease that too.
That is true.
That down,
that is true. I do like that tease because you can, even in a 6-point teaser, you're teasing it down to 3. And I think they can cover that, win by a touchdown, at least. I mean, I can't fathom that they're only going to beat the Jaguars by 3 points.
Right.
Like a 3-point game against the Jaguars, that shows that they're probably going to get smoked by the Bills or the Bengals in the AFC Championship game.
I know. We've seen it. We've seen it already. Like that Bills Dolphins game. I thought the Bills would have fucking rolled too. They end up winning by 3. It's like once it gets down this close, this late in the playoffs, these games are getting tight. Everything's getting tight butthole. Tight butthole, dude. Next game here, Saturday night. I'm taking Giants +7.5. I love the Eagles here. Eagles get another bye week, in my opinion, playing the Giants here on Saturday. Yeah. Giants really have no business being in this position, in my opinion. They'll be facing a team that is scoring almost 30% more than the league average, a defense that is ranked number 1 in passing yards against, number 2 in net yards against. There's only 4 other teams that get thrown on more touchdowns than the Giants. Nobody's scoring more rushing touchdowns than the Eagles. They have the 5th best rushing yards, 3rd best in net yards on offense. Another week for Jalen Hurts to rest, Lane Johnson to rest, 2 huge pieces on this offense. Eagles are going to establish why they own the NFC East and why they're going to play for the NFC Championship in the next round. Giants, though, here's the thing, though. Here's the kicker. I'm bragging about the Eagles, right? Giants are one of the best teams at covering the spread in football, taking them to cover in a divisional matchup in the playoffs. 7.5. I like it.
Bro, I'm all over that. I'm all over that too. I'm taking the Giants +7.5 as well. I just like you said, divisional game. They've seen each other twice. The Giants are one of the best teams at covering the spread. And look what they did. They had a backdoor cover with a bunch of scrubs against the first teamers. Don't get me wrong, they weren't going as hard in that game, but it was a game that they needed to win, and they wanted to win because they wanted the number 1 seed, and the Giants were still able to backdoor cover. I'm expecting another one of those backdoor covers in this game as well.
Yeah, just when it gets to the divisional games this late in the season, teams that know each other very well, I see it being a lot closer than probably within a touchdown. And the 7.5 makes me feel good too.
Yeah, I like the little hook.
A little hook. Speaking of hooks, people are always asking us, Garrett, Pete, how are you guys so smart? Where do you get all this information from? Guys, we tell you week in and week out, FTNBets.com. If you want to get all this information, stats analysis, all this stuff that kind of backs up data, so you're not just throwing, darts in the air here. Go to ftnbets.com/free for a free 3-day trial. You get a plethora of information, stats, analysis, all this good stuff to help you make a better decision while sports betting.
FTN Bets. Get it now.
There it is. What do we got next here? We got, nice. It's the game that everybody was waiting for.
Yep.
Bengals 5.5 in this one against the Bills. The matchup we've all been waiting for. We only got to see one quarter of this the last time these two teams met because of a horrific injury to Damar Hamlin. Glad he feels better. In that short time that we got to watch them play, we saw Joe Burrow and the Bengals drive with ease against the Bills. That game wasn't stopped. I think the Bengals win that game. I know it's only one quarter, and it's really a very small sample size, but they were just driving on them with no problem. The Bills just squeaked out a win against a third-string quarterback in the Dolphins. I would be concerned if I was the Bills. That was very close, almost losing to a guy named Skyler. That's bad. That's bad for business. I spoke so highly about this Bills defense all season. Recently, they have not backed it up. Over their last 5 games, they've given up 21% more points than the rest of the season. On the other hand, you got the Bengals. They've stiffened up on defense. They've only given up 16 points per game in their last 5 games. Bills feels like America's team, though, at this point. Since the incident with Damar, they're red, white, and blue. They're like everyone's kind of rooting for them. If you don't have a dog in the fight, fuck it. I don't care. I'm still going with Cincy with the points here. I still think they can win outright, and I like that at 5.5.
I agree with you as well. I'm taking the 5.5 in that. I'm expecting it to be a fairly closely contested game. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the best teams in the entire NFL, and you're giving us over 3 points. I mean, I'll take that all day. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a 3-point win either way. I really do. I think it's going to come down to the wire, whether it's going to be a game-winning drive from Josh Allen or it's going to be a game-winning drive from Joe Burrow. Either way, it's going to be a close game throughout. I don't know if the sports books start trying to trap us here and the Bills are going to come in and, win by a touchdown. I mean, it's definitely possible, but I just can't. I can't not take the points here, especially the Bengals are one of the best teams against the spread all season long, just like the Giants. Sure. They're top 2 or top 3 against the spread. Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to take the points here. I'm taking the Bengals with it.
Yeah, that only makes sense. I think they can win this outright too. As much as I do want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl, just because I said that they were going to win the Super Bowl earlier in the season. And Josh Allen was going to win MVP. That's out the window. But they're like a feel-good story at this point. But Bengals, like you mentioned, one of the best teams at covering, one of the best teams in the NFL. They're getting better during this stretch, like I mentioned, those last 5 games. So, yeah, 5.5, absolutely. All right. What are we looking at this last game here? 49ers. This is where I'm taking a favorite. Cowboys, 49ers. So 49ers defense, rock solid, right? That's a solid piece of the team over the season. But over the last 5 games, their offense has been surging. Brock Purdy behind center. San Francisco's averaging almost 35 points per game over their last 5 games. This is going to be a tough one to keep up with. Okay, 49ers 7-2 against the spread at home this season. Cowboys are 4-4 against the spread on the road this season. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to be able to keep up offensively. Honestly, I think it's I haven't seen it from the Cowboys since the 90s. So I'm rolling with San Fran here, second best team in the NFL. San Francisco minus 3.5.
I know this is a crazy pick here. All right.
Oh boy.
But check this out. The Cowboys money line
Oh, wow. Okay,
Plus
yeah.
one. I just think they just outright beat them. I really
Yeah.
do. Let me see what this rookie quarterback is made of, right? This is a divisional game against arguably the best opponent he's faced in his entire life, not career, life. His life. This is his life game, right? Because the Cowboys are better than anybody he's ever faced. Offense, defense, special teams, everything in between. I know he's fought. He's going against the Commanders. Commanders had a good, good defense there too.
They
Top
put up
top 10.
37 against Washington.
Right. Well, he only had 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, but he also went against a abysmal offense of Washington. So the 49ers defense was able to just keep Brock doing what he can do, just manage the game and win with relative ease. But McCaffrey didn't have a good game there. He only had 40-something yards rushing. It was mainly the defense doing the heavy lifting. And I think they're going to have some problems here. Cowboys have an offense. We know that. It just all boils down to whether Dak can show out here. Show us that he belongs to be one of the elite quarterbacks in this league. And I do think he still is one of the elite quarterbacks in this league. And I think the experience that he has, and I think the defense of the Cowboys is going to give Purdy some fits. I mean, he's, like I said, Cowboys are one of the best teams at rushing the passer as well. Granted, Niners have a good, offensive line and have been, holding their own for Purdy for the most part. But this is definitely the best pass rush that Purdy has faced in his life at this point. So let's see what he does here. If he shows me he's, he can do it against a team like the Cowboys, and all power to him. But I'm siding with the experience. I'm siding with the team that's been there. Well, with a quarterback that's kind of been there, done that at this point in his career. I mean, it's tough to go in the playoffs and win as it is, like he did it against Seattle, where he showed out. But Seattle is absolutely atrocious defensively, and now he's got to go and do that against a Cowboys defense, which is one of the top units in the league. So give me the Cowboys money line. I think they get it done. And we'll see what happens. And I'm not a lot of the Cowboys fans kind of like talk a lot of shit. So, but Eagles versus Cowboys in the NFC Championship, that's a big game because two rivals and fans that really technically hate each other. So I think it's going to make for a good game.
I just haven't seen it from the Cowboys. We've seen it from we've seen it from the 49ers in years past, and I can't. I see the talent. I see the talent in the Cowboys. They have the pieces, right? They have the receiving. They have the tight ends. They have the running backs. They have the defense. They have all the pieces. But when the shit hits the road, or the rubber hits the road, whatever it is, I just don't see it happen because I haven't seen it yet. So prove me wrong, right? Let me see it first, and then maybe I'll see what we do next round. But yeah, until I see it, I just think this 49ers team is the stronger, more proven team, I would say.
Right. The only thing that's not proven is obviously the quarterback play. But other than that, in every other skill position, they're beyond proven. You know what I mean? It's just the guy at the helm, the guy that's got to reel it in, the guy that's going to have to make the plays to win in the biggest game of his life. I just don't know if he could do it. We'll see.
We're gonna find out, Garrett. The best play that I have this weekend is a teaser.
Ooh, let's have it.
Tell me how this doesn't win. Jaguars plus 15.5. Giants plus 14.5. Bengals plus 12.5. Cowboys plus 10.5. That comes out to plus 260. In what world does that not hit?
Bro, plus 260. That's really good odds, bro.
For a simple teaser on all 4 games.
And it keeps you invested in all 4 games.
Right.
Right. And you're getting double digits on every team.
Mm-hmm.
Double digits? That's unheard of.
Even if you said the Chiefs blow out the Jaguars, even if they score, they outscore them by 2 touchdowns, you're still covering.
Right. And that's what I'm expecting to win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
At the most.
That is a blowout. That is a blowout, but you can still cover here.
Of course. I like it. I think that's beautiful. And like I said, it keeps you invested in every single game from Saturday to Sunday. And I think that's good. I like that. Plus 260, you got great value there.
I love it.
I love
it.
it.
Last thing we have here is PrizePicks. Oh, let me get this out of the way. Guys, if you are in the states that have PrizePicks, you should sign up. Use that QR code. Go ahead and scan it here. They do the deposit match up to $100. So you put $100 in your account, they'll give you $100 back. You make selections more than, less than on player props. It's really simple. The player I would target this weekend would be Boston Scott of the Philadelphia Eagles. Why would I choose Boston Scott's over under on yards or touchdowns? Because for the record, Boston Scott has a 6-2 record against the Giants. He has 414 rushing yards and 9 rushing touchdowns on 86 carries against the Giants. He is known as the Giant Killer. So Giants defensive coordinator, I think, was asked about that, and he was like, he's not a Giant Killer. But every time he plays against the Giants, he has a huge game. So I would look at Boston Scott to score a touchdown or his over on, more than his expected rushing yards.
Yeah, I don't got a lot in terms of PrizePicks here, but if I'm looking right now, that's something that's kind of standing out to me. I'd like to take Evan Ingram more than 5 receptions because I feel like they're gonna have to throw to stay in this game, right?
Uh-huh.
And I feel Ingram's going to be able to get open over the middle of the field against the linebackers more so than Christian Kirk and Zay Jones on the outside. So I think the safety blanket of Evan Ingram, the guy that's going to be able to move the sticks, get them down the field a little bit faster, I think he gets more than that five receptions. I mean, last game he had that 7 reception game, and he's hit that mark 3 out of his last 5 games. So
okay,
I think he hits that over.
I like that, and I like the rationale behind that too.
Thank you.
I'm trying to see if I have another one here. Elijah Mitchell, Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott.
Do you know what looks promising? Trevor Lawrence and Pat Mahomes combined more than 4.5 touchdowns, passing touchdowns.
Oh, wow. Where can you find that?
On PrizePicks.
Oh, beautiful. More than 4. More than 4 passing.
Yeah, more than 4.5 passing touchdowns combined between the two of them.
Okay.
So give me 3 from Mahomes, 2 for Lawrence. I don't see how that doesn't hit.
That's gravy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Mahomes is right now 2.5, and Lawrence is at 1.5. So that's what they're expecting. Brock Purdy more than 1.5 passing touchdowns isn't terrible either.
Brock Purdy under 30.5 pass attempts. That's hitting at about 78%, 7 out of 9 games.
Wow.
Lean on the run game. If they get a lead, I can see that. Making sure that he doesn't turn the ball over.
That makes sense.
I like it.
Yep. Defense, running the ball.
Yeah.
I like it, bro.
That's all I got, Garrett.
That's all I got too, bro.
I'm really hanging my hat on this teaser, dude. This is what I'm really hoping for. That's the moneymaker for this weekend. That's what we call the formula teaser. I'm gonna buy hella formula, dude.
Hell. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. All right, my man.
Oh man.
Enjoy your football this weekend. I will do the same. I might be at Eagles Giants tailgate. We'll see if I'm up for it. But yeah, if I do, I will let you know.
All right, man. Enjoy the dad life too.
Thank you. I'm gonna go take a nap.
You do that.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.